I wanted to see just how good this new Heritage range was. For years I've been looking for a holy grail of a paper, a matte paper that has great D-max, which is how dense it can print to black, and a really wide gamut. I'd noticed as an international photographic print judge that the Australians and the Americans had a little bit of an advantage because he had a paper that I didn't know what it was. Matte paper, again, very good D-max, very good gamut. And you might ask, well, why am I interested in that? Why is that important? Why is there an advantage? And the advantage is very simple. If you think about it, put in an image. If you print something on a gloss paper or something with a shine and a depth and a luster, it gives, you know, a greater gamut. It makes the picture look brighter, more exciting. But once you pop it into a daylight viewing booth, then you are at the risk of that bulb in the booth creating highlights where you don't want it to. And when it comes down to international competition, the margin of winning and coming second is so slight that you've got to give yourself every advantage you can. I mean, as a 16 times photographer of the year winner myself, I know that stacking the odds in your favour is a good thing. So the Heritage range, it's supposedly, it's luxurious, it's archival, but did it pass the test? So from a client perspective, everything's fantastic. You know, 100% cotton, no optical brighteners. It feels luxurious. It's 310 grams, so it's heavy, it feels great. And it is the sort of thing that I would be happy to give out to my clients. Now, interestingly enough, I decided I'd try something really difficult to print. I don't know if you can see it on here. Maybe by the power of magic we'll have popped something in, but basically it was a fashion style portrait because I wanted to see how well the skin tones reproduced, but I added orange accent lighting into it and a teal backlight, so not blue, not green, definitely teal. And I wanted to be able to see how this paper coped with that sort of difficulty in colour. And the first thing that struck me is we also did some very simple, very plain, just to see densities, whites and skin tones. But the first thing that struck me was, irrespective of the surface of the paper, they reproduced almost identically, as you would probably suspect. The best for my clients is, I think, the watercolour, but certainly the smooth for competition. I mean, you just cannot tell the difference. Let's get those round there. You can't tell any difference in the quality. So the surface isn't affecting anything in any way, which is fantastic. Etching is quite an intense texture. You know, I wonder for my work whether it would spoil skin tones, etc. The By Writer, because it has a little bit of a shine to it just gives us a little bit more in the depth and the colour. Now interestingly enough, obviously we're lighting this, so let's see, does my theory hold? So you should be able to see that the top one is the Bi-Writer, the bottom one is the Smooth. The Bi-Writer will be a little bit more rich in gamut and a tiny bit more rich in D-Max, but it shines. So as I move it around, I don't know if you can see anything glinting or reflecting, and I'm trying to stack the odds in my favour should I ever decide to go back to competitive photography, to make sure that I'm not getting, or I'm not suffering from glint on the paper. Again, just to make sure, you know, I've given this a really thorough test, because, and I know this will sound as though, you know, I'm making it up and I'm being paid for it, which I'm certainly not. To find the right paper is as important for me as it is for you guys. A, I want it to be right for my clients, because I want my clients to love what I do and obviously purchase what I do. And B, from a competitive point of view, should I decide to start doing competition again, I want to give myself the best chance. So I hate it sounding like this, but you know, the truth of the matter is very simple. This is going to be the paper that we stock. We stock for our clients, we stock for the competitive printing that we do, and maybe it'll just sort of tease me back into want to do competitions. But to be able to get the density of blacks here, the gradation with the teal here, because I spent a long time lighting this, the accent of the green through the orange, which comes out really well here, the accent of the orange through the orange in the skin tones, it's actually performing far better than I anticipated it would. It might be that magic holy grail, but well, if it is, it's that magic holy grail paper I've been looking for. So hats off to PermaJet, really good job. It actually exceeds my expectations. The paper's beautiful, it's a lovely weight, it's a lovely colour in its warmth, 100% cotton, no optical brighteners. So archivally, it gives me a platform to sell from to my clients. Why should you come to me? Why are my pictures worth what they're worth? This is one of the reasons where we're printing stuff that hopefully your great-grandchildren will be able to see. Because remember, if it's just sat on your hard drive as zeros and ones, A, it's not really a photograph, and B, the chances of it sort of having any longevity to it is minimal. Yeah, so this is what we will be stocking and printing on. And the truth of the matter is, you've got a choice of 4 really good surfaces there. As I say, watercolour and watercolour rag and the Smooth will be what we stock as standard, and maybe even the Bi-Writer. I'll have to have a little bit more of a play around with it. But the bottom line is, these papers, these surfaces, the substrates are great. Oh, sorry, the substrates are great. And the way the ink goes down is just beautiful. It's an amazing paper. Check it out. There's nothing worse when somebody's talking about paper texture and reviewing it when you can't quite see it. So I'm going to try and give you an idea of where we are here. So there we've got the watercolour rag texture. Then we've got the heavier, more beaten, more chained etching. Then we've got that slight sheen of the brighter, as you can see there. All beautiful surfaces. And then we've got the Smooth, which is smooth. And look how it handles those colours. We've got really dark blacks that we wouldn't expect on a matte paper. Skin tones look lovely. Where we've lit with an orange accent through the orange. It's picked up beautifully in the skin tones. The other areas are clean. The accent light that was green has worked beautifully though. You can see it just adding its colour into the netting, and then deliberately with a slash of light across the background that we've got a teal gel on. Now to see that gradation and that colour, and to see that as a whole on a matte paper amazes me. It's much better than I anticipated. Let's just see again if we can show. We've got smooth, by writer, etching, and the watercolour rag. Like I say, watercolour rag and the smooth, I think, will be our surfaces of choice. Your mileage may vary, but that's really impressive. Well done, PermaJet.